5 minutes after 8, and we're doing a 1-hour Newsmaker show today. In this half hour, it's North Hornell Mayor John Falci. Mayor Falci, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Brian. Great to be here.
Mayor Falci, St. James Hospital moves from Canastillo Street up to the old Kmart Plaza in North Hornell. You spent a lot of time helping work out on that project, and no sooner do they get there, no sooner do they open their doors than COVID-19 hits the Canastillo Valley area. We've had numerous cases in North Hornell of COVID-19, some of them fatal. Sorry to say. Your thoughts, Mayor Falci?
Well, when we first started working on the hospital, it was going to be right directly in North Hornell, right across from Lowe's, right next to Elderwood. Then we found out that the ground there was not suitable to build a hospital, and so they went up to Hornellsville, where the Kmart Plaza was, and that's where it has been built. And I thought about this, too. They just opened up. A few weeks ago, we had a big opening at the hospital, and then all of a sudden, this happens. So they've done a great job. I love listening to your show and Dr. Mayer and Brian, the CEO of O'Donovan, CEO of St. James. They come on the show, and they're very positive about that we're able to handle all the situations that we have, so I feel very comfortable about that. I'm saddened, of course, that it has to open under these kind of circumstances. I'm very saddened, of course, that a lot of some of the deaths that have happened here in North Hornell itself. I know the nursing homes in the area have been hit. And I just pray that, that might slow down, that they might be able to get that under control. But I'm confident to know that we have great healthcare workers. And the hospital even has a COVID committee led by Dr. Mayer, who's investigating this, being ready, being prepared. So I'm glad to hear that.
Mayor Falci, you work as a deacon. Wondering, do you, your church must be affected by this whole thing?
Well, we are like all churches in the area. My church is at Hillside Baptist Church, and where I'm a deacon. And we have gone to our pastor, Craig Brittingham, has done a wonderful job. We have gone to basically a midweek service, Brian, where the pastor is on YouTube, or he's on the internet. He's on our website, which is a wonderful website, and he does a service on the website, and he also does one on Sunday, obviously. So we're there. We're there for the people. We're taking calls. Our office is staffed with just one person now that is taking calls in any emergencies that our people at the church might have. And so we're doing the best that we can there. And we know that God is in this. And I just feel this way, Brian, that the God of peace is going to bring the peace. And this peace is coming. And we see some good news on the horizon. Even yesterday, Lord, the Lord has provided us with some of the good news out of New York. Some of the predictions that we're going to have 150,000, 200,000 deaths. That doesn't seem like that's going to be the model anymore. And this is just good news that what we're doing, what our leaders are asking us to do, our people are doing. And this is what our church is saying, stay home, follow the rules, follow the laws, and this too shall pass, and it will pass because the God of peace is in charge. And he'll be bringing that peace, and that's what we teach at our church.
Well, thank you for that, Mayor John Falci. Governor Andrew Cuomo yesterday announced during his daily press briefing that he's going to be increasing the fines for social distance violations from $500 to $1,000. I'm wondering, do you know anything about that, Mayor Falci, in terms of what the law enforcement can do on that? As far as I'm aware, no one has been charged locally yet. I think I'm correct to say that for social distancing fines, though. The Steuben County public health nurse, Darlene Smith, has put out statements pretty much scolding some of the COVID-19 patients who have been breaking the quarantine and going out anyways. What do we know there, Mayor John Falci?
Well, what I see, Brian, is she's absolutely right. If you're breaking a quarantine and you know that you test positive, even if you find out you test positive and then you go and to a couple of stores before you go home, that is absolutely wrong. If you're going shopping with a group of people and you're meeting up there and running around the Walmart or running around Wegmans, that is wrong. This is a serious thing. Even my wife and I like to go shopping together sometimes, but now we adhere to the rule that only one of us goes shopping at a time, and this is what we're trying to do. I don't see a lot of the congregation of kids in the village anyway, running around or at the playgrounds or anything, or at our parks or down at the school fields in North Hornell. We haven't had any situation where we've had to send people to break things up or to even arrest people or anything. Right now, we are in contact with the sheriff's office, so we're in a pilot program with the sheriff's office that we have been paying the sheriff an extra amount of money to patrol our area more than they normally would. And so we've been getting a lot of police help from our sheriff's office, and we haven't heard of any problem. No one has been fined yet, and I hope it stays that way, and I hope people just use common sense. I know you want to go out. I know you want to get in a group and play basketball and things like that, but common sense means to stay home. Just please stay home. You have to go out to a grocery store and realize you have to get your medicine. We realize that, but you don't have to congregate in somebody's house or a bunch of friends get together, a bunch of families get together. It's time to stay home. I go through that here. We have two granddaughters in Rochester, and it breaks our heart that we haven't been up there. We're usually up there 2 or 3 times a week, Brian, and we haven't seen them. Been together with them for almost a month now.
Sure.
Thank God. Thank God for FaceTime and Zoom and stuff like that. That we're able to see my son and my daughter-in-law. We're able to see the grandkids, but it's hard to stay away. It really is. And but we're trying to do it not only for their benefit, but for our benefit. I'm old too. I'm probably in the category that I have to be careful. So I'm watching out, for my health also, and trying to protect others.
North Hornell Mayor John Falci's worn a lot of hats over the years. Wanted to get your thoughts on this, Mayor Falci. You were a longtime teacher. You taught for years at the Hornell Intermediate School. Your thoughts on how this kind of thing will affect the students who are home and doing studies somewhat online. Wondering what you're hearing and wondering what your thoughts are on this long time off that the students are having. Governor Cuomo announced yesterday that that's been extended, staying out of school until the 29th of this month. Right.
And, I feel most kids want to get back to school. They want to get back in a routine. That's where they're strongest at. When we had a couple of tragedies, when I was teaching, 2 of my kids in my homeroom died in a fire in Thatcher Street. And we didn't know what to do, but they called off school for a day, and I found out through that tragedy, and one of the girls were in my homeroom. I found out by that tragedy that the kids wanted to be together. They wanted to be together. They wanted to grieve together. Now this situation is hard. Kids aren't enjoying probably staying home. Many kids, they want to be out. They want Little League to start. They want softball to start. They want these things to start. But I think that they have to know that teachers love them. They miss them also. We want to be with them. We want classes to start. And I know teachers are doing probably everything they could possibly do to try to help them. I know my son and my daughter-in-law in Rochester, they're on Zoom and teaching classes on Zoom. And I know there's been some problems now with Zoom as far as security goes. So the schools in Rush Henrietta where they teach are trying to come up with some security measures because people are Zoom. They're coming in on your Zoom lessons or everything like that. So, but this is what teachers are doing. This is what kids are doing, and a lot of kids are on there. Even some kids who you wouldn't think, well, I'm not doing my homework that the teachers give me during this time. Who wants to do that? I'm not going to do anything. But you know what? Some of them are doing it, and some of them most of them are doing it, and some of them that you wouldn't even think would do it are doing it. And so they realize that they want to be connected somehow to their teachers, and the teachers are doing a great job as far as doing everything they can, whether it's pen and pencil, and or it's Zoom, or it's FaceTime, or whatever. They're doing a great job, and this will pass, and kids will rebound. Kids will rebound pretty quickly.
Now, I did not have you, but I had Mr. Parks, Sidney Parks, there across the hall from your class there, Mr. Falci. You were a math teacher, correct?
Math teacher and a social studies teacher, yes.
Social studies is one thing to catch up on. Wondering how things are going with math because, wow, that's one topic you don't want to get behind on because it's really hard to catch up.
No, it's true. You don't want to get behind. That's why I just wish that, they could get, like maybe even in June, if they could get like 2 or 3 weeks where even if they can get a week or two where the kids could come back and just at least receive things to work on over the summer, receive packets to work on, tapes to work on or whatever, especially in subjects like math, because you fall behind in math. You're falling behind. I'm glad that the state's eliminated the state testing already. Some of the state testings that were scheduled even last week have been eliminated. I see the regents are going to be eliminated. So, but you just don't want to fall too far behind for when school does start, hopefully in September. So I hope there's a way to get material to kids where they're comfortable in kids coming in or picking it up. And who knows, maybe in June that will happen. Who knows?
We're talking with North Hornell Mayor John Falci. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Stay with us.
Giovanni's and the Giovanellos want to thank their customers for 40 years of patronage. Here's a message from Giovanni's Restaurant on Seneca Street in Hornell. From now on, Giovanni's is only taking credit card orders from those who call ahead. Giovanni's follows the most stringent practices for cleaning, wearing masks and gloves, and social distancing. Out of a further abundance of caution, Giovanni's is no longer doing walk-ins, only deliveries and curbside pickups. Giovanni's will closely monitor CDC guidelines and will only modify their new rules when it becomes appropriate to do so. Again, Giovanni's thanks their loyal customers for 40 years of patronage.
The service department at Maple City Dodge is open. Automotive service work is essential work, and Maple City Dodge is able to assist. They're asking customers to allow them to work with minimal contact, so they'll happily pick up, sanitize, and return your vehicle. The sales department is also available. You can talk to one of their sales guys. They're working from home and making great deals. To set an appointment with service or sales, call Maple City Dodge or reach out to them through Facebook Messenger. Maple City Dodge in Hornell, proud to be serving you.
Back with North Hornell Mayor John Falci live on the Newsmaker show. Mayor Falci, there seems to be two schools of thought about this COVID-19. One is that it's very serious and you cannot be careful enough. That's one school of thought. Another school of thought is that the statistics are being exaggerated, and I'm not afraid. Are you? That's the kind of talk you hear from some of the commentators. What are your thoughts on this, Mayor Falci, when you're in a COVID-19 hotspot there in North Hornell? What are your thoughts when you hear someone or see someone on TV kind of poo-pooing this whole thing?
Well, if anybody's not afraid of it, they're just plain ignorant of this subject. It's a very serious subject. We need to follow the guidelines of the CDC. We need to follow the guidelines of our leaders, our governor, our mayors, our people in charge, our doctors. And it's a very serious situation. I think that those that don't think it's serious, they feel more of an economic burden, and they want to get everything back together again before we lose more of the economy that we've lost. But right now, I think it's a very serious thing. We need to follow every rule that has been advised to us. I know we try to do here in North Hornell. Now, I know there's a lot of cases in North Hornell, and there's a lot of cases in Hornell, and we seem to be a hot spot, and that could be a number of reasons why. You go on Facebook or whatever, and you hear a whole bunch of reasons, this, and everything, and it was brought up a few weeks ago, and we did have a St. Patrick's Day parties and things like that, and bars were open and everything. The parade was closed, but we operated at that time without we didn't know what we knew about a week later, so that was important to realize. Yeah, we had a lot of partying and during St. Patrick's Day and stuff like that, but we didn't know as much as we know right now. I think I mentioned at one time that Hornell is a big retail hub. When we I've been on the board since '94, the North Hornell board, and been mayor for many years. And when we did all the work in bringing Walmart with the city, of course, and the IDA. And we did the work of bringing in Walmart, Wegmans, and the Plaza, and then more recently, the last 10 years with Lowe's. There were studies, and the studies said that Hornell really has a retail hub of around 150,000 people. It's not just 10,000 people in Hornell and 5,000 in the Arkport or wherever we got. It's not just that. We serve 150,000 people. When you look at the retail shops and the Plaza and Lowe's, you see people from out of town, mostly from Pennsylvania, that are there. But you see people from Wellsville, Dansville, Alfred, Canisteo, all around Bath, all around this area. We are so blessed, even at this time, to have these retail stores that we have. Yeah, they could cause problems. Yeah, people could go there and they can shop there, and they can have the disease. But this community has just about everything we need, especially in a situation like this. Look at we've got Wegmans, we've got Walmart, we've got Lowe's, we've got the hospital we're right there. We're lucky that we have these kind of facilities here, and we live in a great place, the Hornell area. And when we did studies on bringing in Lowe's a number of years ago, the studies were that we supply and we're a retail hub for 150,000 people, probably more now, and because they come here because everything is here, and I'm just so thankful that we were able to do that. We were able to take a cornfield where Wegmans is. That was North Hornell. That was a cornfield. We were able to take a piece of property Dr. Robbins owned where Lowe's is. This was deemed agriculture. And we were able to work with the city and the IDA and all the realtors and everybody that had a part of it, our state government, and able to put these stores there that we don't realize how great it is. And now, of course, the parking lots are still full every day. Hopefully everybody's going in there with the precautions that they need to take. But this is sometimes why we're a hot spot, not only a hot spot with partying that went on maybe and stuff like that. But we're also a very hot spot with retail. And this could be part of the cause. And we do have a number of nursing homes in the Hornell area that are also, contribute to some of these things that we're dealing with.
Talking with North Hornell Mayor John Falci. Mayor Falci, COVID-19 and the North Hornell budget, is there any effect of COVID-19 on your budget situation?
Yeah, well, we're similar than probably every other city or every other village and everything. I heard Mayor Buckley talking about the Hornell budget, and we're similar with that. We obviously cannot have our budget hearing is going to be Monday the 13th, and we're not going to obviously be open to the public. Some of us are going to be at the meeting. Others will attend by Zoom, and we're going to have a tentative budget where our taxes are going to come in about 2.7% increase. And what we're going to do with the budget, we have sent a letter concerning the budget, and we have sent excellent charts that have come from the village or come from Steuben County. These are charts of village rates all throughout the village, city rates or village rates all throughout the county, city rates all throughout the county, and what everybody pays. For instance, in North Cornell, where I'm in charge of, we told everybody, here's what you're going to pay in village tax next year. Here's what you're going to pay in school tax. Here's what you're going to pay in county and town tax. I have these charts. We've mailed these charts out already, Brian. We've sent a letter about what we're doing because we know people cannot come. So we want to be as transparent as we can be. So I'm on the radio now. Every taxpayer has had these charts and the village letter. So we feel very confident that our taxpayers are going to be updated with the budget. We've taken a hit like Mayor Buckley was talking about with the sales tax projected for next year. We were projected to get around $122,000 that we put in our budget that we expected in sales tax for next year. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. And so we called BAF right away to try to find out what can we expect. And they said, okay, here's your sales tax revenue. This year it's around $122,000. You can expect anything from 20 to 30% less. So even for a village our size, that's a big hit. So we had a budget in, okay, $122,000, 30% less. We budgeted in around $85,000 that we expect instead of the $122,000. And this is like that across the board. So we got to be careful what we did. We really haven't had to cut too much, but we had to be careful as far as buying new things. Maybe we have to, keep our equipment for one more year. So we were very careful about that. So
Mayor John Falci, down to about 60 seconds. Any final thoughts before we go?
No, I'm just happy with this. I'm happy that I'm seeing some progress made. I'm happy that the 200,000 people deaths are, might be a little bit, we may be a little bit under that. And I feel very confident that our people are very, very prepared as far as the hospital goes. And I just hope, do what you need to do. Go outside. We sat in the backyard yesterday. Don't congregate with too many people. Stay away. Wash your hands. Do all that. And this too is going to pass. And there's glimmer of hope coming now.
Mayor John Falci, very glad we had you on this morning. Hope to have you back soon.
Okay, glad to be here. Thank you, Brian.
It's AM 1480 at WLEA Hornell. Dr. Gary Ostrard coming up after the 8:30 local news.